What's up, fam? Yeah, buddy. So, how y'all doing? After Christmas, I got all my junk here. After Christmas, Merry after Christmas to everybody. I'm always coming up with something crazy, man. So what are we going to talk about today? I think I want to talk to you guys. I want to tell y'all a story. I think the story that I want to tell you is something that I said that I was going to tell you the other day. And that story is, I have so many of them. So, mind you, being of my age, of course, I would have a lot of stories to tell you. All right? And I would like to share a story. It's all true stories, right? And the story is when I learned the word nigger. Not the way they're trying to say it today. But I'm going to give you my view of that word. Me, a older individual, more mature of course, I am not fond of that word and never will be fond of that word because I've come from an era in the 60s that word was a very low, I mean it should be equally as bad today, but it seems as if the younger generation has gravitated to this word and they want to make it an enduring thing to say amongst each other, which I truly disagree with. Now, I've never talked about it in detail. Then again, maybe I have. I think that it's something that we all need to talk about because if we are really trying to be conscious or awake, I'm probably saying it wrong, but you know, if we all trying to be awake, okay, and we call ourselves the chosen one, then I think that we should conduct ourselves as such. Meaning, the way that we conduct ourselves with each other, the way that we greet each other, the words that have been founded in a time where we were enslaved, right? Let me talk about that to you. Now, maybe I might talk about it with a guest or two, maybe, after I get through the list of my guests. And then we'll come back and start picking up different topics to talk about. But for the most part, I would like to share with you what my view is of that word, the big N word, right? Now, this is something that we have made controversial now. I don't understand why. Why is it such a controversial thing to discuss if we should or should not be calling ourselves this word, regardless if you change the spelling. By changing the spelling doesn't make it less powerful, or does it change the meaning of it altogether? Because we are the ones who are victims of the word. So if we take the word and we try to flip it and make it seem like it's something good, well, that is a dangerous game to play with the world. It doesn't put us in a good light. One, because the world feels as if we can do it with ourselves, then they in turn can do it. And when you hear someone outside of your race, and let's say we all do it, we all call each other the N-word all the time, and we are comfortable, and we may be, because there was a time in my young life that I did the same thing. All my friends, it was only amongst us friends, but it seems as if when somebody that was not of our race did it, we were uncomfortable with that. They could be pronouncing it the same way that we pronounce it with the A on the end and all that, and it could be meaning it probably in some people who are very familiar with the black culture may mean it the way that we mean it, but we didn't take it that way, and I didn't, and a lot of my friends were kind of uncomfortable with it as well. So I remember how it made me feel very uncomfortable to have someone else outside my race call me that. And I was supposed to accept it as if it was a cool thing like the rest of my homies. And I did not find that comfortable at all. And a lot of you, sorry, I'm still fooling with this music, but a lot of you younger generation, you guys have tried your absolute best to change this whole narrative of this word and use it so often and so much that it's like it has to be accepted. And I still beg to differ on that. And when I have conversations with people, I'll just start with my own people, young and old. When I notice that a person have a habit of using that word, and maybe it's a subconscious thing that they do because they do it so often, is that they just throw it out there. And they may say it in an enduring way. But for some reason, I find it still offensive, and I put the brakes on the conversation. And I address it first and foremost. Now, if I walk in on a conversation and they're already going at it, talking to each other, and they're throwing this N word around a lot with the A on the end, I just remove myself from the whole conversation. But if it's just like I'm talking to one person, maybe even two people, and that seems to be a habit of one of them or both of them, then I will interject and say my share, my piece. And it is most times received as, oh, okay, I understand. I never had anyone really get highly offensive or wanting to get ridiculous about me asking them not to refer to me as that. So that is my way, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time, since I woke up. Now, if you want to talk about waking up, that is one of waking up we all need to do. And we need to share that with the younger generation, because apparently the younger generation, as you guys can see, it's either all about me or I don't care generation. I don't care about the rules, I don't care about the regulations, I don't care about you, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, I don't care. That is the generation that we're dealing with. Or it's all about me. I don't care about you, so I gotta get me, do me. Have mine, it's all about me. Money, I have more than you. You are nothing compared to me. It's all that me, I'm better than you generation. Right? It's not helping your other brother or feeling sorrow or feeling a certain thing for them that your heart goes out to them. And that is one of the reasons why we talk to each other in the way that we do, and that the younger generation treat each other the way that they do. Now, I remember the time when the words were starting to reverse themselves. Meaning, is that too much reverb? Let's back it down. Meaning that when we used to talk and agree on something that was, as far as that we looked at it as cool, even the word cool, if you think about it, but I'm not going to go into that. Let's use that word as something we all understand on any dimension. Meaning, if you're a younger generation, middle generation, or old generation, cool was the thing to describe something that you liked, that you thought it was hot. And even hot is the same thing. So I'm still doing it, And these are just words that we pick up over time. But when you say hot, I don't think it's anything was negative connected to hot, and I don't think anything negative was connected to cold. and I mean cool, and we flipped it, to try to make it something that we all think that is cool, right? So, and I remember a time where when we used to say dope, yo, that is dope, right? Now that began in my young time. Some people still kind of use it, and I, you know, I had to think about the psyche of it all. That remember what dope really was or is still, and it was nothing positive. Dope had represented the drug situation. Um, Dope. If you were on dope, it was bad. If you were a dope head, it's just simple bad. If you were anything regarding or connected to dope, you are not good. You're a dope fiend. You're a dope head. You're a dope addict. Whatever. But when, because of the power of what it did to a lot of us, a lot of people, dope destroyed a lot of people. It was a powerful thing. So now we took that word, and we flipped it and started saying stuff like, yo, that is dope. So if it's something we really like, if it's a nice outfit, that is dope, and we'll use that. And that's something that caught on, as well as bad. Yo, that's bad. You know what I mean? And we already know from being little kids what's good and bad. So everything that that is now or then used to be the taboos are now kind of accepted. And that was something that I saw coming along growing up, is that everything that was taboo is now being accepted a little bit at a time as I got older. And now we're at an age where everybody can do everything and it's okay, and it's a lot of controversial conversations about relationships. Doing what you want with who you want and how you want is okay. And I still think there's a line of respect, or a line of belief in God, I guess. I think that is the balance. When you get rid of your balance line, when you get rid of that, then it's back to the Wild West again. And as you see, a lot of people are calling for a revolution. Some people are calling for a revolution. Some people are calling for a civil war. You know, and they have their own reasons on why they're calling for this, because they want things to change from how they are. And how they are is that if you're trying to change it in a way where it can go back to the way that it used to be. And if you think about it from our standpoint of view, the way it used to be is not a place we wanted to see again. Now, but if you were on the upside of it all back then, and you were basically, living the life, living, having the piece of the pie, the American pie, and living very well and dandy with no problems, then you might want to see that again. Or maybe you never seen it before, but your ancestors have talked to you about it, and you would like to see that in your time or your children's time. But mind you, even though your ancestors may have been living high on the hog, but then there was a group of people that wasn't, right? And they were living below the poverty line. And that's that. I don't care about how they were living. I just know that my ancestors were living a certain way, and carved out a certain way for us, and we love to see that day again. And if it takes a a civil war to get there, then we're willing to go through it. And it's that type of thinking that I've seen progress over time. And black people calling for revolution, right? Meaning that we may have to get out there and battle with the people who dislike us and hate us and want us wiped off the face of the earth type thing, you know. And then wherever the chips fall at that point, then we all, will pick up and start over. And that's what people are kind of looking for. I don't know. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the situation currently is to be worked on, to be fixed, so we don't have to see that. Because when we get to that level, there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of innocent people being crushed in that whole effort to make change. Well, that type of change anyway. Any change come with a battle for the most part. But I just noticed the progression in how things used to be. And I just feel as if that if we continue on the path that we're going, that yeah, the revolution or the civil war is going to be. It's going to be a lot of casualties. I just feel that if we have gotten to a point that we cannot communicate or even respect each other enough to just let these people live here and you let them live. So what that means to me is that if we allow people to just live their lives. Now, of course, you can't live your life wildly and do any and everything you want to do. No, that's chaos. We see what chaos is. We can see it. We see it in the newspaper all the time. Yeah, you got to sift through what's real and what's not and all that good stuff. But with your own eyes, when you go out, you can see if you go into the right places where there's a lot of chaos going on. And the chaoses have been created because of the condition people have been put in. And they feel like that the strong survive regardless. It's not about color anymore to these people. It's all about the money, or the color of money, if you want to say it that way. So maybe it still is about a color. And people will go out here as a cutthroat. I had a guest of mine tell me that he was, doing very well and doing some good things, and he had got robbed. And I'm pretty sure he got robbed by someone who looks like me. And that story is so apparent, and that story is so frequent. We hear it all the time, and it comes about that way because of desperate measures people feel that they need to take. And they do it. They just, for whatever reason that they've been put into a desperate place in their mind to go out and harm someone or take somebody's hard-earned money, putting their own lives at jeopardy in the process. And then if they get caught up, or if they, if the tables flip on them in the process, they beg for mercy. So it's that type of thing that I've seen progress, and I see it more and more. It's scary. We have no clue. We have to pray, put our armor on every day before we leave our homes. And when we go out here in this world, we don't know what smiling faces have plotted against you, to probably take what you have or harm you in any way, or your family. So you really don't know. So you try to stay prepared. And look, all this came about basically because of the progression that I've seen over time, where the morals really don't match up anymore. People don't look at morals. They feel as if morals pretty much is a boring way to live, and it's not a good thing. It seemed to be, oh my God, you can't live, because you're restricted on doing what you want to do and how you feel. So if you feel like you want to love a cat, sexually, then people think that it's okay to do, and it's not okay, because there's a certain moral line that you don't cross. And when you forget about all that, or if you've never been taught that, then you think that everything is okay, and it's not. So this conversation, for the most part, is if you want to talk about being awake. I hear a lot of people saying it when I run across social media. You know, being awake. I'm awoke. I'm the chosen, or we are the chosen one. Well, if we are the chosen ones, then we should be our brothers and sisters' keeper. If we're the chosen one, if we claim to be, then act like it. Don't say it with your mouth and then act like something totally different. You know, so that's a big contradictory right there. So for me, uh, I would just say I'm awoke or I am awakening. You know, because maybe in a lot of ways I'm not completely awoke. You know, and I see a lot of people out here that are totally blind. Totally blind. They don't know why. If you ask them why they do some of the negative things that they do, they really don't have a good answer. They have an excuse, but not a really good reason that people can listen and say, "Oh, I understand why you shot that person for no apparent reason. Now it makes sense. Hmm, because he said something about you. I get it." Hmm. You see that just doesn't add up. You know, there's a certain line we all should not cross unless pushed to to the very wall that you don't have a choice in the matter. And you know, all these people that are faking like that they're all this patriotic and they're all this law-abiding citizen to the T and never do anything wrong ever, you know, and you know, but they find reasons. They just find any little small excuse to pull their weapon on you and fire that weapon. You know, so we know who I'm talking about when I say these things. You know, I'm talking about my own group of people and people that hate my group of people. So that is a conversation that will never end. And to be honest with you, do I believe that it will, the racism in the world and the hatred will ever stop? No matter what we do that is good, will it ever end while we're here? And the way that I'm seeing it is so many people in the world, man. And they all got their own way of thinking. Some of them band together and think one way, and then another group band together and think that way. And next thing you know it, you got the division. And who actually profits off of division in the world basically? It's the big greedy money makers because they know how to create chaos amongst the people. And once you have a division, then you can control easier. But if they all band together, that is the biggest danger to big power money people. Is that all the smaller people who don't have as much money band together. That is a big fear that they have. Big fear. Because with that, they can be overthrown. With that, things will change. That money that they have will no longer be like controlling all the small little divisions that they created. Right? So I've seen the progression from what things used to be as good now to be, you know, flipped. Like bad is good, good is bad. Dope is good. Now when you say, hey, that's dope, you know, and it's just one of those revolving doors. It seems like it's just different players. And will it ever end? I've seen people die on these corners in these streets, and they'll never own these streets. They're out here selling. They used to sell drugs on these drugs on the corners, man, and make millions, you know. And they were, you know, outlawed people. And then now the government felt like, being that they can't beat them, they're gonna join them. And all the people who had been locked up back in my day for big quantities of marijuana are probably still behind bars, but now they legalize the crap in that same state. Whew. It is a bowl of confusion, and we have to learn how to swim through all this. We have to swim through the mess in the best possible way that we can. And that is You have to have a foundation in order to pull your strength from. And within that foundation has to be some intelligence, has to be some knowledge, some guidance toward. Because there's so many things, so many intelligent people can guide you toward, and it seemed to make a lot of sense. But stick to the basics will probably keep you more safer. The basics on how the old timers used to make it, because apparently they brought us here, and now here we are trying to carve our way through. But we seem to be leaving behind one thing: morals. Morals, foundation, your belief in God, foundation. You have to have a strong foundation, and then you can tackle the world. Yeah, no matter what comes at you, it don't matter. And if you're confused about what's coming around the corner you ain't never seen before, that's when you start praying. If you do believe in a higher power, people like to say higher power, or a spiritual being, I call him God. Okay? I believe in God. Yeah. And that's my foundation. That's my strength. Regardless if I'm not perfect, that's what I fall back on. That's what's guided me through all of this craziness in this world. And when people bullied me back in the day, I prayed about it. And I came out with a whole new attitude, ready to deal with whatever came my way. And if you're one or two of those people who are dealing with some nonsense that just shouldn't be, and you feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do because how can I deal with this every day? Look, grab onto your foundation, believe in your foundation, and take it by the horn. Stand up to it, no matter what it is. If it's any type of bullying, that's what I'm getting at. Because of the chaos, the progression on flipping things from good to bad and bad to good and all this nonsense. Stand on your foundation strong. If you know that it's good, then it is from God. If you know that it's good, it's obvious that it's good. It is from God. If it is not good, it is not from God. Simple, basic understanding. Stand on your foundation. If you don't believe in God, well, I'll pray for you. God bless the soul who don't believe. Right? But for those of you who do, and you know God, don't turn on God. Don't turn your back and say, I just want to live my life the way I want to live it, and I don't want nobody dictating to me what I should and should not do. Stand on your foundation. Keep it simple. Stop confusing yourself with all the complicated this and the that and the da. Hey, life is not that complicated. It can be complicated. Depends on how you work it or let it work you. But if you stand on your foundation, believe it or not, it's not as bad as our mind boosted up to be and what our eyes see. A lot of those people going through the things that they're going through, putting themselves in those volatile situations and getting themselves killed or shot or whatever the case is, because they chose that way to go. And for the people who didn't choose that way to go, and it comes to them and all of a sudden a good person is gone, are we to turn our backs and say there is no God just because of that? No. There's a balance in life, and this is the way that the balance is sorted out. Even good people are casualties. Even when they are just living a good life and never did anything wrong to anybody. Yes, it happens. Babies go to heaven like that. We on the other hand, between what we did between our birth and our death is what we'll be judged by. Will we automatically just go to heaven? I hope I said heaven too. But I'm going to come to a close because I like this conversation actually. This is the type of content that I have. This is the type of stuff that I talk about often. And if you can partake with me in this type conversation, if you agree, then give me the thumbs up fingerprint the thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of this, and of course you guys know that I am an ex-boxer and I like to train. I like for you guys, I like to share that with you. Also like to share my singing experience with you as well. You know, I do a lot of practicing with that. I like to get a lot better, you know, but I share it with you with all my faults and everything. So fingerprint the like and fingerprint the subscribe button for me. Share it with someone if you think it's good content. By all means, trust me. Anything that I talk about could be a serious hot topic, or it might be a very touchy or very loving type topic. You know, or maybe I might even sing something that you might really like. Fingerprint the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone. I'm trying to build the channel to be a positive channel. So, on that note, I'm out. For all of you who miss me saying Merry Christmas, I'm going to say it again. Even though Christmas was yesterday. Merry, Merry Christmas to one and to all. And a Happy New Year. Right? On that note, treat people like you want to be treated. And it'll come back round. Because it has for me. See if I